Swing and a drive. Get up, bar. He's done it again. A two-run shot in the first.
Hello and welcome to Swing and a Drive. It is Tuesday, February 28th, 2023. That guy is James. I am Logan. And today we're going to talk about the spring training, Blue Jay spring training episodes so far. The Pirates game, the game against the Yankees a little bit. That one we didn't get to watch. And then some about today's game. And James, how are you doing today?
I am very good. Don't want to miss this before we get going. Anything? Just wanted to say congratulations. The wait is over. Alejandro Kirk and his wife have welcomed a brand new baby girl to the world, and mother and baby are safe. Her name is Emilia Jolene Kirk Castaneda, and everybody seems to be in good spirits. So welcome to the world, Emilia, and we're looking forward to seeing Mr. Kirk back. You know, give him a few days. This is a pretty momentous time, so give him a little more slack. But looking forward to seeing him back soon enough.
Yeah, great news for the Kirk family, and great news for the Blue Jays. We're going to see Captain Kirk back in the lineup soon. Okay, well, why don't we start with the game against the Pirates there. Yusei Kikuchi was the starting pitcher. He had a really good outing.
Yes.
33 pitches, 22 of them strikes, 14 of them whiffs, 5 strikeouts. Looking good.
Well, and
not
if you
up to full velocity, but hey, it's his first spring outing. So what do you really want from a guy?
And if you talk about like our conversation the other day, and you go back to that, you know, talking about like he could be on a short leash. Oh my God! Like if things aren't working out, like he's the starter for the 5th game. That's where he starts, and that's everything can change. But it sure is encouraging.
Very encouraging.
That is what we saw in his first outing. I like he had a lot of command with his fastball. I don't know do you have the breakdown on his pitch usage in that game? I didn't bring that up before we came on, but
it was not predominantly fastballs, that's for sure.
It wasn't. He was
I did
still
look at
using
it earlier. I don't have the numbers in front of me.
Okay.
But yeah, looking pretty good.
Yeah, I'm liking it.
I mean, small sample, 33 pitches. You know, first day of spring. Don't want to get too crazy, but it was really nice to see him coming out there. He made the mechanical changes. He pitched from the stretch for the whole outing.
Yeah.
Didn't do any of his big windup, no extra leg hump in there, no extra stuff, no extra movement. I think.
Did he use a slide or a kick?
He was kicking the whole time, I think. I didn't notice him mix in the slide step, but he may have. When there was runners on, I didn't pay that much attention.
I thought the broadcasters were talking about the possibility that the pitch clock was actually beneficial to him, where some pitchers will want everything to go super slow. Feel like it kind of let him just let his natural ability go, and I think
I agree with that completely.
He's going to hopefully benefit from that all year.
Yeah. Not thinking about the pitch as much as just throwing the ball.
Yeah. And, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. Hopefully he can continue on with this, and we'll see him get a few wins in the regular season. That'd be great.
Yeah. Yeah. Now you noted a couple things about the hitters. What are you noticing in the hitters, especially the first game in the Pirates game? Let's talk about that one.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously Vladdy hits a home run. So I mean, he's been locked in for a while. He's pretty hyped up about the WBC, obviously, which starts next week, I think. 10 days, something like that.
I don't know. Yeah.
So he's getting locked in for that, and you can tell he's ready to go. He's seeing the ball really well. He's crushing. Those 2 home runs that he's hit were absolute missiles.
I think that was the thing.
I think we're going to see really good things out of Vladdy this year, from the plate for sure.
Yeah.
And then yeah, I mean, there's some other solid contact from guys. Guys getting hits through what would probably be a shift last year that wasn't a shift this year.
Good point.
So I think it's good. The hitters' timing is definitely where you want to see it right now, I would say.
Yeah. And that was to our discussion the other day too. I think we were a little accurate in describing it and saying that the spring training hitters are going to ramp up pretty fast.
Yeah.
Comparatively.
You know, and like some guys are just starting to get their first at bats. Like Springer just got his first at bats today. You know, so he's a little behind maybe the rest.
Sure.
In that timing, but
yeah.
Chapman was looking good in his at bats today. So
yeah,
I think it started right there in Pittsburgh that these guys kind of want to show what this season's going to be all about.
Well, and then the young guys too showed relatively well, like Barger. The
Barger,
he's he's going to be the new tight pants guy.
That was a moonshot.
That guy is made of muscles, and he crushed it. He crushed it. He crushed it. That was
I don't know what the launch angle on that was, but it was probably very high.
No. So if there's you got those kind of good stories, and you got people that are able to continue that kind of performance at major league level, that's great.
Yeah.
Those are things that make me excited, because I don't see a ton of the AAA games, and so you get to see these guys come up, and when they do a good thing in the spring training, it's really exciting to see. So
it's good. I think the hitters are close. We're going to see some good stuff out of our hitters this season.
For sure. No, and defensively, stepping in right away, making his defensive presence felt. Kiermaier from center field with the assist. What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, not to take anything away from the play, we got the out. It was a good play. It was close at home. Could have been a little less close if the throw was a little more on target. But hey, first throw of the spring. And this is what we're wanting from Kiermaier. He's aggressive. He's going for it. He was pretty shallow too, so that was a good test for the first throw of the spring for sure. And it was nice. It was nice to see him get the out. I think we're going to see a lot more of that from Kiermaier. His run prevention is next level, right? Like he's an amazing defender. So that's just the tip of the iceberg of what we're going to see play wise from Kiermaier out there, I think.
Well, I watched him, speak with Buck and the crew, and he does seem pretty genuinely excited at the opportunity to prove himself. And you come into a formerly adversarial organization, and he's like, well, one of the reasons why he was previously so hated was because again, he's a very effective player. And he caused all kinds of havoc against
the Jays pitchers.
Exactly.
Even though he's never been the greatest hitter in his career, he could hit at Rogers Center. So hopefully that translates to
he's got a crusher.
Being a good hitter at Rogers Center for the Blue Jays.
The man gets on base, and he's always been able to.
Yeah, and he's fast. And that was another thing I noticed right away was the way that the runners are disrupting the pitchers. With the threat of a steal or the attempts of stealer, bouncing around. Whit Merrifield, when he hit his double, he got on second base and he was just dancing.
I saw, bouncing around.
Head, he got that walk. It's pretty fun to see. I think we're going to see a lot of stolen bases this year. That attempt by Whit Merrifield would have been overturned, I'm quite sure.
I
in
agree.
The regular season.
Yes, I think.
You saw. Schneider. He did that whole.
That's not allowed. I know, but you guys know, and everybody's like, we get it.
I think the base running game is going to be very interesting. Yeah.
Well, maybe that can move us into actually the Yankees game a little bit, because the play Romano made in the Yankees game, I think, goes to that whole strategy. Classic pickoff at second base, sure, but I think that as teams go through this process of like dealing with the pitch clock and the new rules, developing, okay, so the new rules are all developed for offensive output. And I think that
Yeah.
you're always looking for your new strategy to beat the new offensive output. So if it means more of those kind of pick plays, um, and like you say, I think you made a note about um, all the guys like really perfect your turn and throw to second base.
Yeah.
So you get that kind of thing going because you
Well,
have those.
you're not going to see that check in throw over anymore, right? Like you're not going to waste disengagement to just
Yeah,
like lob the ball over to first base and kill some time. That's not a thing anymore.
yeah,
So your pickoff move is your A move and your A plus move every time. Like that's it.
yeah.
And guys need to work on that. And I think especially like the middle relief guys that are going to get brought in to hold leads and that sort of thing, like those plays need to be dialed in.
Like
And I think they will be. I think that's something that the Jays are focusing on a lot is the base running, both defensively and offensively.
like
So
you got a guy on you got a guy at plate and a guy on first base, and he's got his lead, and you've already had two disengagements, two tosses over there. They didn't get him. The pitch
yeah,
clock is running down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What do? The runner gets to either have a huge, he knows he's going or not. Like this is happening. This whole play is happening right now.
yeah. So I think like if you were Andy Pettit, you would love that situation. You would love it because nobody had a better move to first than Andy Pettit with the like lefty lift, make it look like you're going home, and then just step over to first and throw, right? And so I think like if you're a lefty and you can get that move going, you are going to pick off so many guys this year.
or guys are going to be
But
pretty
like,
timid against that. Yeah,
right? But like
yeah,
as a righty, I think you're right. Like that guy's going to take an extra step. I think that's where we're going to see a lot of back picking. We're going to see a lot of throws
yeah,
down from
yeah,
Kirk and Jansen
yeah,
to Vladdy down there because they love doing that already. And I think it's going to be really effective
yeah.
in those situations. It's going to help like get guys thinking maybe I don't take such a big lead because just because he can't pick me off right now doesn't mean that Jansen or Kirk can't pick me off right now. So
Yeah.
I think we'll see that all kind of play out a little bit over the next week or two. Some of those situations, hopefully. Hopefully we have to see them happen and see what's going on there. But I think,
Yeah.
yeah, it's going to be the running game is wide open this year. It's all new strategy, all new everything, new bases. The whole shebang has changed. So
Yeah, like
we're going to see some stuff.
you can complain about it because it's different or whatever, but it's the rules. They are what they are right now, and I think make the best of it. And so that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to figure out all the things that are going to work, both offensively and defensively, to gain an edge into the
Yeah,
new game. And it's going to totally make the game different. And every pitch, like this is the thing we always talk about with people that say baseball's boring, is every single pitch the dynamic changes. And it just
every
ramps
time.
up with the way things are. There's like you have to come up with you have to understand the changing dynamic in 15 seconds or less now. Uh, and as a hitter, as a fan, so tell me it's boring. I don't know,
Yeah,
or just engage with the products, and you'll start to get excited as you learn more about it. Like I'm like really excited about learning how, along with the rest of everybody, about how this is going to change the way you take baseball in, the way you think about your strategy. Like
right.
watching a baseball game is gonna be quite a bit different.
It's
So,
going to be a lot different in 2023. That's for sure.
and now,
I think one of the great things about like some of these new rules, like the pace clock specifically, that MLB obviously did something right, is that Aaron Judge thinks that hitters have the advantage with the pitch clock. Max Scherzer thinks that pitchers have the advantage with the pitch clock. Who's right?
Who is right?
Who's right?
Yeah.
They're both right. You know,
Yeah.
like good pitchers, it will give them the advantage, and good hitters that are smart will also give them an advantage. So I think MLB might have got this one right. You know, we might see the numbers change a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, they have fine-tuned the numbers,
But
18 seconds or something like that, whatever. But yeah.
like so far, I haven't seen anybody, especially with us on the Jays, that has had any issue being even close to 12 seconds.
Yeah, Manny Machado's cheeky comment the other day about
Yeah.
you're gonna see me down 0-1 quite a bit
You
this
see
year.
But like, you know, you won't. Like,
That'll
it's just
end. Yeah,
not.
that'll end pretty fast.
Everyone's gonna eventually. It's just gonna be like we're gonna be playing ball like it's the 70s and 80s again, and guys are gonna just be working fast, and the pitch clock will just kind of not even really be a thing.
Yeah, it'll
You know,
be
like,
there. Yeah,
it'll be there, but like no one's paying any attention to it because they're all just working that way because that's been the evolution. That's my
now
whole point anyway.
the opportunity for the pitch clock to affect the outcome of the end of a game has already shown itself. You made a couple of arguments about this, but I think we should talk about that. So Atlanta Boston tied bottom 9. That was the situation? And
Yeah, bottom
there was
9,
a
bases loaded, full count. Like it's it's the situation. Tie game, everything. So a few things happened here, right? First of all, the hitter who spent his time between AAA and AA last season means he spent time with the rule last season, so he should know better. That needs to be put out there.
he seemed surprised that it
That
was
guy
him.
should have known better.
Yeah, yeah.
He needs to be in the box and engaged. Like he needs to be looking up, not just feet in the box, right? That's a big part of the rule. Is
Yeah.
you got to be looking at the pitcher with 8 seconds left. The other thing is this. Everybody's all upset about it. Lots of people on the internet are really upset about it. But nobody's talking about how in the regular season this would never happen because we don't end games in ties in the regular season. So it would have just gone on into extra innings. Would it have affected the outcome? Maybe, but like it wouldn't have been the end of the game.
Now that's a really good point about that because everybody was up in arms. But what about say it's the same situation in a regular season game and you're not tied. You're trying to you're top of the 9 or you're bottom of the 9 and you're win or you're trying to hold it out. And the game ends. You lose the game, and as the home team trying to come back, you lose the game on a strike 3 time count thing, technicality situation. So my argument, I think my only thing about the whole rule that I would worry about is ending a game on a foul. Feels cheap to me. So like in the NFL, you can't the game can't end on a penalty. And I know it's not a penalty, and the rest of the game in the rules is it's a strike. It's a strike or it's a ball. So it becomes a strike or it becomes a ball.
Right.
But in this situation, on the very last thing of the game, it's like the second or the 2 seconds or whatever it might be. Is that really what you want to be focusing on the last play? Like I feel like that should be like an umpire discretion at the end of the game situation.
Yeah, and I think that's a big conversation. I think that's a big conversation that's been happening amongst like the media people about this specific instance of the pitch clock or pace clock, as I have kind of been trying to latch onto because it's not just for the pitchers. I think the thing there is I heard someone earlier talk about how you just equate it to like basketball and the shot clock. If the shot clock runs out, the game's over. Or you don't get to take your shot. If the shot clock runs out at the end of the game, it's the last seconds of the game, and you haven't taken your shot. Well, the ref doesn't say, "Oh, you can have 2 more seconds to take your shot if you want." Like it's a clock. It's going to be a hard time. It's got to be all the time or never, in my opinion. You can't
fair.
have umpires' discretion because, as we know, the umpire's discretion in the major leagues is not always very good. So it needs to be a hard and fast rule, I think. If it's not, there's going to be trouble.
So we'll take our lumps this year. We'll have a bunch of games. Even the Blue Jays might be affected by it, but a bunch of teams and a bunch of games will be affected by it one way or the other, and people will be feeling aggrieved or they'll be feeling relieved, whatever
I
way it
think
goes.
I really think that by the end of spring training, everyone is going to have that clock in their head, and
Oh,
no
not at
Major
all.
League Baseball player will allow themselves to be called out on strike 3 at the end of a game without being in the box. Like,
I'm interested because, well, what I'm saying aggrieved is the fans. This is where I don't care about I don't care what the players are they're the ones that are complaining are the fans. They're all up in arms. Oh, the game ended, blah blah. So like
yeah,
they're
exactly.
when this comes up later in the season again, and people aren't gonna, this rule is gonna get called all year on various guys in various situations, and games are gonna end in strike 3 called on a time count, or ball 4 walks in a winning run on a time count, or something like that. Games are going to
Eh,
end, and fans are still going to be pissed one way or the other. They're either going to be aggrieved or they're going to be relieved. It's going to go for them or against them. We're going to have to take
yeah,
our
I
lumps
mean,
all year long, and eventually we'll get to accept that it's a rule. But for a while, people are going to be really angry about seeing that as part of their sport. I think that's my
I I have trouble believing that any player is going to be stupid enough to not be on time at the end of a game to affect a game like that. Um,
you hope.
so I don't. I think the chances of that actually happening are incredibly slim. Um, but if it does, then yeah, there's going to be, the
Think
people that are going to be super
think
upset about
teams
it.
will develop
Um,
internal punishments?
oh
Like
man, there no, there doesn't even to be internal punishments because we have this. We have the social media and the meme. They will get destroyed
they will get crushed.
socially,
Fair
like
enough.
absolutely crushed if that happened. I'm sure of it. Like that's and they know it. They know it.
That's fair.
So they're all prepared for it. It's not like the sticky stuff rule where it was just kind of shoved upon them in the middle of the season.
Yeah.
They're prepared for it. Everybody's bought into it. I think by the end of spring training, you'll see that uh, guys are used to it already, and it's not going to become an issue that people are making it right now.
Okay. Well, I am ready to be right later in the season. I mean, we're both talking about different stuff, so it's all good.
Yeah,
And now we're almost out of time. So I did want to bring up a couple of things. I want to make a note of a couple of things I noticed. Hagen Danner needs to make this team out of spring training. I don't care what anybody says. That 70s stash needs to be on this roster right now. The other cool thing
dude,
about
I
him,
love the resurgence of the mustache amongst pitchers, especially
it's
because
awesome.
like
He's got the flow
my
and the 70s
my
stash.
people.
He's also, to his credit, a really cool story because he's a converted catcher. He can pound it in there pretty good, and he can spin it pretty well too. So I'm excited to see what his actual adventure is with pitching. But
Yeah,
he's actually
cool.
he could be pretty cool. I just wanted to bring him up because I was impressed when I saw him, and had to give him a nod. So anyway, that was
Right on.
one thing. But speaking of pitchers, first time for me it was today's game, the Tigers game here today on the 28th. We saw Ricky Tiedemann
Ricky Tiedemann.
for the first time. We're pretty quick out. What was your impression?
Hey, he's looked good. He's throwing 99. Changeup was like 85 or something, so that's awesome. He's got a really good feel for the changeup. He's going to be good. I don't think he's going to break camp because I think he needs to get the reps in starting down in AAA. That being said, if there's even a minor setback with Kikuchi, I think he's your number 5 starter.
Yeah, like I haven't really watched him yet, and this is my first time to really get to see him. And this is all the reporting I've read, all the things I've heard, or like everybody that sees this kid just is Raven, and his teammates are Raven, his coaches are Raven. And then I saw him, and I was like, he to me, he's kind of like because he generated that 99, so you've got that he's lefty,
Yeah,
99 lefty. To me, there's like this like Nate Pearson-y level, like when Nate Pearson
yeah,
first arrived,
yeah.
the level of like
The
excitement
comparisons are
around him.
there for
Yeah, and
sure.
I was like, and so, but I do feel like it's a little different, and if you treat it right, you know, he could Manoa the situation here, and like pop, 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 right into the league this year in no time.
That's
So
that's what I foresee and really hope
yeah,
for myself too.
yeah, I'm hoping to see him go well here. So yeah, positive things there.
Okay.
Let's hope. Anyway,
Well, that's going to do it for today's episode. If you liked what you saw here, feel free to give us a like and possibly subscribe and get the information about future content. Thanks a lot, James. Have a great day. We'll talk to you again soon.